Hey everybody, I think I'm live. Let me check here. Hi, is anyone in the group? Say hello if you're there. I can see eyeballs and I can respond to comments if you guys have any. Hello, happy Monday. I wanted to hop on here today because it's been a little while and I'm trying to get better at going live and chatting with you guys. And hi, thanks for the thumbs up. Um, I was inspired by a fellow entrepreneur here in Concord. She's a friend of mine. Her name is Stephanie Hessler, and she is a coach. She helps a lot of entrepreneurs and small businesses kind of work their way around things that they're struggling with. And she has been challenging herself to go live in her group on a very regular basis. I think she's in there once a day. And I happened to be on, and she was talking about fear and meeting fear head on and what it means to be uncomfortable and why facing that discomfort is key to making change and finding your success. And she calls it meeting that fear head on. She calls it the terror barrier, which to me, I actually heard terrier barrier, and that makes me think of an angry schnauzer because I used to have an angry schnauzer. And they can be kind of terrifying. Anyway, this whole conversation really struck a chord with me for a number of reasons, right? So I have my own business. For those of you who don't know, I own AlchemyThree, which is a design agency. We do a lot of marketing and branding for people, and we create strategies that convert, and we help people attract their ideal customers, right? So I'm a business owner, and there are often a lot of decisions I have to make and things I need to lead the charge on, and ultimately all of the decisions come down to me. And so hearing Stephanie talk about this and challenging her listeners to consider how comfortable they are in their current situation. Are you too comfortable, right? Are you sort of moving along with the status quo and not really challenging yourself? What are the things that make you scared? And are you taking those on as personal challenges, right? So I was in a bit of a funk. This was very timely. I was in a funk last week. I was having a hard time leaving the house. I found myself really in a state of decision paralysis to the point where my poor team, they're waiting for me to give them feedback, to give them direction. And honestly, all I wanted to do was hang out in my pajamas and binge watch Stranger Things. I just couldn't. And checking in on what Stephanie is doing and her speaking to that discomfort. And I think that, yes, I was in a funk, but I think that there was some fear in there as well. Fear has a tendency to kind of disguise itself in a myriad of ways. So for me, it shows up as like living in the pit of my stomach, or I start to feel a tightness in my chest, or I have a hard time making decisions, or sometimes I just get kind of easily distracted and confused. And this really got me thinking about how when we're hit with those feelings of discomfort, there's usually power in that fear, right? Like if we're able to get on the other side of it, if we can take really small steps to overcome that fear, good things are likely to happen. And also be asking yourself, what is the worst possible thing that could happen, right? Someone could tell you, your idea is dumb. Who cares, right? Like, no one's life is at stake. Someone could reject you. Whatever, you know what? Your idea is likely to be unsuccessful if everyone, let me rephrase that. If you are everything to everyone, there really isn't anything special setting you apart. So it's really important to take these risks and to meet the things that freak the shit out of you, meeting those things head on. For me, for instance, like going live on Facebook kind of freaks me out. Speaking in public freaks me out. Sharing strong opinions that may go against how other people are feeling in a large group. That sometimes, like, stand-up comedy or improv is like my personal nightmare. Anyway, so I just wanted to send a shout out to Stephanie. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for getting the wheels turning in my own head. And I want to challenge all of you guys to think about what is a small fear that you have that you might be avoiding. Where are these roadblocks? Can you identify a small roadblock that maybe we can help one another stay accountable and tackle some of these things together? What can we do to meet these things head on? And there's a really good chance you're going to feel awesome when you get on the other side of it. I also wrote a blog post today based on these concepts. So I'll be posting that in the group tomorrow because it'll go live on the AlchemyThree site tomorrow. So share your thoughts. Again, I've learned that my fear is committing my efforts to focusing on one single thing in my business, right? Like niching down and concentrating on the one thing is really, really difficult for me. And I need to dig in, get uncomfortable, and make some decisions instead of sitting in my pajamas watching Stranger Things. Okay, that's all I have for today. Thanks, guys. You're awesome. And I hope to see you all later in the group. Now I have to remember how to turn this thing off. Adios.